Good morning, fam. What's going on? It is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Can I get a roll tide inside the comment box? I appreciate you guys being here this morning. Today is Tuesday. Today is November 26th. I hope that you are off to an amazing start on this wonderful Thanksgiving week. Coming up on Saturday, you got the 2024 Iron Bowl. Everybody remembers how it ended last year with the 4th and 31. Today on the show, I'm going to ask you a question. Should Coach Kalen DeBoer start Jalen Milroe versus Auburn? Talk about Alabama's playoff chances. Remember, the playoff show is tonight at 7 p.m. Central Time. At 7 p.m. Central Time, you also have Alabama basketball taking on Houston in a high-profile matchup. Jace Calzario on Flip Watch. He's a 3-star running back out of Michigan. Should be popping anytime. We've talked about how you can beat this Alabama team. We've talked about DeMarcus Riddick, how he called out Ryan Williams, and basically Alabama, right? Poking the bear. Transfer portal, that's coming up, and so is signing day. Remember, early signing day starts December 4th and goes through the 6th, and the transfer portal starts on December 9th and goes all the way to the 24th. Alabama currently is an 11.5-point favorite against the Auburn Tigers. Appreciate you guys being here. What's up? Heath, what's going on? Kadarian, Georgia, what's up? Carlos Mitchell, good morning to you. The game day forecast for Saturday, courtesy of the North Alabama Storm Chase. You can follow them on Facebook. Tailgate, 50 degrees. Game time kick, 51. Kickoff time, remember, is at 2:30 Central Time. Fourth quarter, 45. Dress accordingly for the Iron Bowl. All right, let's jump right into it. Let's do it. You guys ready? Okay, so I need feedback inside the comment box. You ready? 3, 2. Should Alabama start Jalen Milroe versus Auburn? Should Alabama start Jalen Milroe versus Auburn? Yes or no inside the comment box. I think what happens and what has happened is where we are at this point in the season, you almost have to start Jalen Milroe. If you were going to make a change, and this is my opinion, you should have done it weeks ago. And just saw how the offense went, right? Saw what worked, saw what didn't. I know there's a lot of people right now that that have questions about Ty Simpson. But I think overwhelmingly, yes, and I'm with you. And this isn't like to sunshine pump or to jump on Jalen Milroe's bandwagon. It's just this is do or die. And I think at this point in the season, like he probably gives you the best chance to win against Auburn. So you play him. If there was going to be a change, it should have been a long time ago. But a lot of feedback, and I'm not surprised to see it saying start Jalen Milroe. Let's go over the pros and cons of starting Jalen Milroe versus Auburn. All right, so we've already solidified you're going to start him. But it's his team. And it's too late to change. And what I mean by it's his team, the offense, they're used to Jalen Milroe. Kendrick Law, he's used to being a blocker. He's not a receiver, he's a blocker, right? Kobe Prentice used to catching just one pass. The thing is, these guys are behind Jalen Milroe. Whether you want to face it or not, this is Jalen Milroe's team. And he beat Auburn last year. It's too late to change it up. This is it. Like, this is your quarterback. This is it. And you know what? Whether you've been disappointed, I'm sure you're disappointed with Jalen Milroe. He gives Alabama the best shot to beat Auburn. Otherwise, you got to think that Coach Kalen DeBoer would have already benched him. It's starting to look like Ty Simpson isn't the answer going forward. and that there's going to be a really big quarterback battle next year once Keelan Russell lands here in Tuscaloosa. Otherwise, I think we would have seen more of Ty Simpson, but we haven't. Randy brings up a really great point inside the comment box. You just don't know what Jalen Milroe you're going to get on Saturday. That's exactly what Hugh Freeze said during his press conference on Tuesday. When asked about Jalen Milroe, he was like, which Jalen Milroe do you think will show up? It's kind of been a feast or famine from Jalen Milroe. And you know what Hugh Freeze said? You prepare for the better version, because you know what he's capable of. He also said, I do hope we get the lesser version of that. Saw it last year. Big games, he shows up. You don't know which Jalen Milroe is going to show up. I think hypothetical, you could bring up if you bench him, you lose the locker room. I don't know. Is that, I think maybe that could happen. But I don't know. I think that's probably not true. I think if he comes back, you probably lose a lot of the players that aren't getting fed right now. But I haven't really seen anything to where the players are really disconnected from each other, on social media. In fact, after this game, the first one that came to social media was Kobe Prentice. And he was like, yo, Jalen leaves it all out on the field. So the players are still together. Roll Tide Probs is saying, Kyle, do you want Milroe to come back next season? No, I don't. I have never covered a more polarizing quarterback that's kind of led to a negative viewpoint. People just do not want him as the quarterback. They don't feel he is a quarterback. I think there was a time where I was on the Jalen Milroe train. But it's clear to see at this point in time that he's trending the opposite way. So I think he has to move on, whether that's to the NFL or transfer out to another program. And you got to think that his draft stock is going the opposite way. I brought up the stat yesterday that he's thrown 3 touchdowns since Vanderbilt and 8 interceptions. And that's just against SEC play. That doesn't count the Mercer game. And I think combined with that too, like Jarvis is saying inside the comment box, Nick Sheridan is probably, I don't think he's that much better than Tommy Rees. It might be the same. I don't know if you remember this. I can't even remember where it was. I think it was in the Sugar Bowl against Kansas State. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was when Bill O'Brien must have been the OC. Bryce Young was the quarterback. And it was leaked that Jalen Milroe was working out as a wide receiver. Does anybody remember this? And then in the preseason, Jalen Milroe admitted that Bill O'Brien wanted him to be another position other than quarterback. But I think overall, kind of getting back to the top, you have to start Milroe. It's way too late, period. Oh, thank you, Kadarian. It was against Cincinnati. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah. The other thing that I'm kind of watching is Jalen Milroe's draft stock is absolutely going the opposite direction. Let me ask you right now, which round do you think that Jalen Milroe goes in the NFL? I haven't checked Mel Kiper's latest big board. He was 3rd last week before Oklahoma. Do you think that he goes in the 1st round, the 2nd round, or the 3rd round? And how much money is Jalen Milroe making right now from NIL? So if he comes back, he's still making cash. A lot of people still have him in the 1st round. There's a lot of teams in the NFL that need quarterbacks. I think he's slipping. And the more that he slips, the higher the chances are that I guess he could come back. I don't think he comes back because I think what will be his saving grace is I think depending on what happens against Auburn and whatever bowl game they go to or the playoffs, he'll have a big game at some point, right? But I think the combine, when you see him at the combine, that will be his saving grace, especially when he talks to GMs and interviews, because the guy is a good person. And how could you not want him in the locker room? He just clearly needs to develop more as a passer to be a quarterback in the NFL. As I mentioned recently, I don't watch a lot of other YouTube channels, but I did watch Shannon Sharp. And he was talking about Jalen Milroe, and he's like, look, you better be ready for the NFL because Oklahoma is nothing compared to what you're going to see in the NFL. And he's absolutely right. Oklahoma's defense was really fast, probably the fastest defense that I thought we saw all season. They were flying everywhere. Milroe couldn't go to the outside, nothing. I mean, Oklahoma was right there, and I think you're going to see that in the NFL. Like, think about the Philadelphia Eagles. Their defense, incredible. You can't be a one read, drop it down, and try to get to the outside in the NFL. It's just not going to work. But we have seen quarterbacks criticized before, and we have seen quarterbacks improve. The example to this is Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts was not a polished quarterback during his time at Alabama. He won games 100%, but it wasn't until he went to Oklahoma that he became better as a passer. It wasn't until he went to the Philadelphia Eagles that he kind of found himself. But I don't think when he was here, he was a dynamic passer. In fact, we were having these same conversations when Jalen Hurts was the quarterback. Henry brings up a damn good point. And while a lot of this is on Milroe, and rightfully so, Elijah Pritchett is having a terrible season at the right tackle position. You can't put in Wilcom for him because he's worse than Elijah Pritchett. Those guys haven't developed to the best version of themselves yet. You have really no outstanding right tackle at all. Jaden Roberts has been playing mediocre because it looks like he's, 60 to 80%. Geno Vandermark's been ho-hum. But the right side's terrible as well. Hugh Freeze told us yesterday what the game plan is. And he said that they expect Alabama to utilize Jalen Milroe and his running ability. He knows that. We know that too. I told you that before the Oklahoma game. While I was confident that Alabama would beat Oklahoma, I told you how to beat Alabama is you stop 4. You stop 4. 15 passing touchdowns, 17 rushing. Leads the team in rushing, obviously leads the team in passing. If you stop Milroe, this team does not have any other offensive weapons that they utilize. They don't. They're not going to feed Jam. They're not going to feed Justice. And that's it. Jalen Milroe is the offense, and Auburn knows that, and Auburn will do everything in their possibility to stop Jalen Milroe. And if they stop Jalen Milroe, then Auburn will beat Alabama. And Alabama will be in, I don't know what bowl they'll be in. We might be going to like El Paso, Texas. And I think you're going to have a hell of a battle for quarterback next year. I really do. Every freshman that comes here is completely overhyped. We get that, but freshmen coming to Alabama are a different caliber than any other freshman. Keelan Russell talking Alabama's quarterback for next year. I think there's going to be a hell of a battle for the quarterback position. I really do. I think if Ty Simpson was going to be that guy, he'd already been playing this year. I think it'll be open for business. With Keelan Russell coming in, I think he fits Coach Kalen DeBoer's system more. I would imagine they take a junior college or maybe not a junior college, but I think they take a transfer at quarterback. I think Austin Mack competes. Keelan Russell, if you watch him, the way that he moves around inside the pocket, his deep ball ability, he is that as well. I don't know which quarterbacks are going after at this point in time, but I promise you, I would imagine that they go after a quarterback in the transfer portal. Just wait. Just watch. But I think Keelan Russell will come in willing to compete 1,000,000%. A lot of people talking Austin Mack too. I think he fits better in the system too. Skyler, what's up, man? I see you inside the comment box saying, nah, Russell isn't starting. I like Austin Mack, I do. We got 300 up in the house. I appreciate you guys being here. Kyle Anderson, Bama Football on YouTube. It's a polarizing topic every single time. Up, down, up, down. I've been on the wagon. I've been off the wagon. It's terrible. Trust me. I read all the feedback too, because at one point I said that Jalen Milroe was it, that he was going to lead this team to greatness. Yesterday I had a video that came out. I was talking about the fact that there's a small glimmer of hope that Alabama somehow gets into the playoffs and they face like a Penn State or a Notre Dame. We're going to talk playoffs here in a second. And who knows? If this guy goes off, he goes off. Ask Brian Kelly. You know, it'd be interesting to ask Brian Kelly. They just suck on defense. Brett Venables knows what he's doing. But when Milroe's hot and he's running, man. And when he hits you with the deep ball, Ryan asked, Kyle, do you think this has an effect on Ryan Williams? It doesn't seem to. I haven't really heard any players openly criticizing Milroe. I mean, these players are pros. They're not going to do it openly. You know, Ryan Williams has showed some leadership, and that game against LSU, if you remember, Ryan Williams told Jalen Milroe, I'm not mad about the stats. He's like, all I care about is winning. So if all he cares about is winning, you got to think that Ryan Williams is disappointed this week considering they just lost. But Ryan Williams is going to get targeted 10 times against Auburn. I know this as a YouTube guy. As a YouTube guy, barely scraping by, I know this. I can't even imagine what people over $1 million are making to coach the defense. They know the same thing. They know the tendencies. You know this too. I mean, when I have T up in the house, you never even played football. She knows exactly where Jalen Milroe's going to throw the ball. Ryan Williams or Jeremy Bernard. I guess, and I don't know what happened to CJ Dupree. He can't catch the ball anymore. You know what? A question might be, you need to start Josh Cuevas. Yo, that one-handed catch he had was tight. You got to start Milroe against Auburn. That doesn't make me like back on the Milroe train or anything. I think you have an issue at quarterback right now. Milroe can't get it done. Ty Simpson isn't it. Dylan Lonergan, no experience. Austin Mack, not ready. Kate Caruth, a walk-on. So Jeremy Pruitt, watch. That's like waiting for the Great Pumpkin. Tribe, what's up, man? See you inside the comment box. We've been waiting for Jeremy Pruitt to come back for so long, man. We've been out in the pumpkin patch just watching and waiting. I don't think that's ever happening. Darren, what's up, man? Saying Josh Cuevas is that guy. 100%. Jimmy says you need to get the ball to Emmanuel Henderson and Kendrick Law. You're not going to. Those guys are not part of the offense at all. Neither is Kobe Prentice. Those guys are non-existent. The players that will get the ball for the rest of the season or however many games you have, Ryan Williams, Jeremy Bernard, Jalen Milroe, a tight end, and that's it. Jam Miller will get 12 touches, and that's the offense. All right, so let's talk a little bit of playoffs, okay? The playoff show tonight is at 7 p.m. If you go to, let me get the website right so I can give this guy a shout out. Whoever built this is an absolute genius. It's called bball.notnothing.net. bball.notnothing.net. This guy built a website that predicts all of the scenarios for making the playoffs by conference. So we're looking right now at his website. This is a screenshot from his website. The highlighted teams are the teams that are favored to win this weekend. I don't think anybody is safe. The way that college football is now, who knows who will win any of these games? I have no idea. I would imagine that Ole Miss wins. I would imagine that Alabama wins. I would imagine that LSU wins. I would imagine that Missouri wins. Actually, I think Arkansas probably beats Missouri. Oklahoma, who knows? Maybe they beat LSU. I would imagine that Texas beats Texas A&M. If I polled you guys right now, I think 90%. I think 100% would pick Texas, considering that Texas A&M just lost to the barn. I would imagine that Tennessee beats Vandy. Right? So anyways, these are the teams that are highlighted, that are expected, that are rat poisoned to win this weekend. Alabama's on the rat poison watch too, okay? If all of this works out, now we've kind of shifted into playoff talk, then this is what the SEC would look like if all of these teams win. This is what the calculation spits out. Texas and Georgia in the SEC championship game. Tennessee is the third team, and Alabama is the fourth team, with a 5-3 record in SEC play. Again, should they be able to beat Auburn? I never pick against Alabama. I'm nervous about the Iron Bowl, and I'm sure you are too. Why is Alabama fourth? Well, they beat LSU and they beat South Carolina. Right? And in this scenario, Alabama would have beat Auburn and Texas A&M would have lost to Auburn. So there you go. And why is Alabama below Tennessee? Well, they have a better record, and Tennessee beat the brakes off Alabama. So there you have it. Okay. I think Ole Miss is behind Texas A&M, Jarvis, because they didn't even fit on the screenshot. So let's say it holds out this way, okay? Then what? Well, according to ESPN, this is the playoff prediction percentage for each of these teams. Alabama right now at 37%. Yeah, Jordan, we got you. Tennessee going up to Nash Vegas, for sure. We got you, man. I would imagine that Tennessee is what? Like a 7.5 point favorite or something like that against Vandy. This graphic before Alabama lost to Oklahoma was like 80% that Alabama would make the college football playoffs. Now we all know that they're a bubble team. At the end of the day, the TV networks are the puppeteers. There's no clear direction to make the playoffs. It's not like runner-up in this division plays the championship. No, it's a group of people that get into a room and talk about which team should make the playoffs. No other sport is decided like this. in the world. It's a group of people that decide the fate of the teams outside of the conference champions, right? So here's kind of the board of the teams that could probably make it. I think what's going to happen, as I said yesterday, I think it's going to come down to the ACC runner-up versus Alabama if Alabama beats Auburn. So the ACC runner-up, which will either be SMU or Miami, against Alabama. Dexter is asking, will Bama look for a new DC? No. You know what's interesting? You just saw Mac Brown get fired. You see Oklahoma fired their offensive coordinator. If Coach Kalen DeBoer didn't sub Milroe, there's zero chance he's going to fire Nick Sheridan. There's zero chance he's going to fire Kane Womack. Coach Kalen DeBoer hasn't even taken accountability for losing any of the games. And it's sad the people that are like, well, it's the first year, Coach Saban lost, whatever. No, this roster was loaded enough to win the national championship. The coaching staff failed the players, and the players failed on the field 3 times this year. This is Kalen DeBoer's first year since 2007 without Ryan Grubb. Nobody wants to talk about that. Look at the offense. I guess he's too nice to make a change at quarterback, but maybe there's a quarterback issue. I don't know. None of those questions are asked. None of those questions will be asked. So they're all just hypothetical between us and in the chat box. Jeremy, what's up, man? I see your comment inside the comment box. How do you fix it? I don't know. I mean, I think you start breaking it down by fixing the right tackle, which you go into the transfer portal, and you fix that immediately. You pray and you hope that Austin Mack can run this offense, or Keelan Russell comes in as a true 5-star that can run the offense. You get an inside linebacker from the transfer portal. You get Bray Hubbard healthy. You get Keon Sabb to stay. You talk to Damani Jackson and you're like, hey, maybe you should stay. I don't know if Damani Jackson is a first or second round guy, but the way he has played has been fantastic for Alabama this season. The schedule, I think, is light next year in the front end. You got like Florida State. And you finish out strong too. If you lose to Auburn, man, it's going to get bad. Because the people outside are going to start seeping into the minds of players that are on the roster. Coach Kalen DeBoer just said that that's already happening, that he is already talking to players about the transfer portal. Georgia Catherine, are you talking to me? Oh, you think Coach Kalen DeBoer should go? They can't. They can't fire these coaches in the first year because they have these huge buyout contracts. They won't get rid of Coach Kalen DeBoer. And the thing about it, too, is the culture. What Coach Kalen DeBoer did was he completely changed the culture within 1 year. Changed it. Everything is different at Alabama football. Everything. Everything is completely different. That's why you're seeing different results. Now, can you win with different results? Yeah, you can win 8 games. Can you win a national championship? Yet to be said. But Coach Saban ran this program with the iron fist. Kalen DeBoer does not have an iron fist. He runs this program with the ice cream cone in his hand. He gets a little bit animated at practice, but I don't think he can control the players, and I don't think he can control the people that are controlling the players, the outside people. But let's talk playoffs, all right? Alabama still does have a glimmer of hope. Why? Because all the teams that were supposed to win to jump Alabama, they failed too. All of them. All those teams that could have leapfrogged Alabama, they all lost. Who are you going to put over Alabama when those teams are losing too? These are the teams that had opportunities to jump Alabama and kick Alabama out. This is crazy. I've never seen this. Ole Miss, you had an opportunity to get into the playoffs. They lost to Florida. BYU, you had an opportunity. And they still kind of do if they win in the Big 12. They lost 2 in a row. Okay. Texas A&M, you have an opportunity. Get in the playoffs. You lost 2 on the road. Colorado, you're in. Win. They lost 2. Army, nobody was really taking them serious. Do you see what I'm saying? Those were the teams next in line to jump Alabama if Alabama lost. All those teams lost, so it basically got reset with all of them having now less opportunities to get in the playoffs. And then if you compare all those teams together, Alabama still has the equal amount of resume to those teams because they all lost to unranked teams. So then I think since the TV networks play a role in all of this, they're going to want Alabama in the playoffs because you can't really say that this team has an overall better resume than Alabama, and you love Alabama for the TV ratings. Do the TV networks want to see SMU versus Penn State or Notre Dame in the playoffs, or do they want to see Alabama versus Notre Dame? Alabama versus Penn State. I know your ears just perked up and you're like, duh. Do they deserve to get in? No. But neither do these other teams. You're talking about the 12 seed probably. I think tonight, Alabama will be the first team out. If you punch in right now that Alabama beats Auburn on the ESPN predictor, this is what it spits out. It has Alabama as an 11 seed. This is from ESPN. They have Alabama as 11. They have Tulane as 12. And see how fake this is? It has Penn State winning the national championship. I don't even think Penn State could beat South Carolina. I think Penn State and Vanderbilt would be a hell of a game. Skylar's like, people are going to lose their shit if Bama is 13, wins this weekend, and comes in at the top 12. That's probably what's going to happen. You know what will be crazy? Jalen Milroe has this extraordinary game this weekend. Alabama beats the brakes off Auburn, gains all this momentum, because I always say this. It doesn't take long for Alabama to lose momentum and for them to gain momentum. If they beat Auburn, all eyes will be on this game. They beat the brakes off Auburn, they'll be right at the table. I know, but this is how this works. All right, so right now, I'd love some feedback. If let's look at this. If Alabama beats Auburn, do you think that Alabama should make the playoffs if they beat Auburn? Yes or no? Just type it inside the comment box as fast as you can. I didn't say should. I said will. Should they? Today, no. Because it's like, how have you played like right now? They scored 3 points on offense. It's not like they lost on a 70-yard field goal or some crazy, miraculous, play. They got their ass kicked. Like, Brett Venables ate Kalen DeBoer up. Yeah, this has been a roller coaster 1,000,000%. I'm reading a text that just came in. The world is falling down. And it's crazy. Like, I'll hear stuff from people, and I'm just like a YouTuber trying to get by, and people will like text me like I have some sort of like any sort of pull with like anything. I don't. People get mad at me right now. You should see the shit that I get right now because I'm telling the truth. If I talk negative about Alabama, oh my God. I hear it from everybody. But honestly, like, I really don't give a shit because I just want to be able to express my opinion. That's why I'm so grateful that I don't work for an organization that has to monitor what I say. I want to be able to speak the truth. And when I've been nice and when I have said nice things about players or this and that, I've gotten nothing. Nobody has came to me and be like, oh, you can get interviews. Nothing. Everybody's just shit on me. So that's why I'm just like, I'm just going to just say whatever I need to say. I'm not going to sunshine pump. And if you can't deal with it, then go to all the other YouTube channels, and I don't give a shit. I really don't. I'm barely getting by. So if I want to say the truth now, then you can just fuck off. Don't text me. Don't text me. I have nothing to do with why Alabama lost. I don't have anything to do with stopping the run. I don't call the plays to throw it to Robbie Oots on, you know, when you're down 24-3. I ain't call a stupid screen pass. I'm just tired of like being so nice and like trying to like sunshine pump. And if I don't, I get shit. Throw a fade route to Robbie Oots. It's messed up, man. I get like text messages, people emailing me yesterday about stuff. Stupid. Dude, you guys know all the shit. I don't even have credentials. Literally, I just stay at my home here in Tuscaloosa, do my show, pray to God I can make it to the next month by doing this. But I don't have like any pull in the offense or the defense, and people get mad at me for saying my opinion. Jesus, bro. If you can't deal with this now, imagine when like ESPN or someone like that is talking about it. It's crazy. What's crazy is where were those texts when where were those interviews or where were those opportunities when I'm hyping up Jalen Milroe? When I'm talking like big about him. Hey man, thank you so much for hyping him up. You know, good thing. No. You know what happened? You know what's the craziest thing that happened to me ever when covering Alabama football? There's been a lot of crazy shit, but I'll tell you what, is when Jalen Milroe's dad went off on me after the SEC championship, when I was cutting a video giving him props. His dad was like, hey, dude. Remember that clip of him going off against Tennessee? Dude, he was going crazy on me. And I even say, I was literally giving him props. He was with his family. There was even some Alabama assistant coaches that came up to me and they're like, man, that's crazy. You could ask around. There's people that saw that. You could ask around. So I already talked about the teams kind of on the back. And I guarantee you somebody's going to email me after this about something. Dude, I don't work for anybody else but myself. So you can't say that. You can't say the truth. You can't do this. You can't do that. I get it all the time. It's crazy. You got a flip watch coming in from Jace Calzario. I'd stay close to your recruiting sites. All the best in the business. Looks like he's a 3-star out of East Lansing, Michigan. Took a trip over here from Mercer during that Mercer weekend. He's a 3-star. I never really paid much attention to the star rankings. It's always great when you get a big star ranking guy, but some of these guys, when they get in, they start working. They don't care about the 3 stars. And sometimes what I've seen is those 3-star guys are hungrier because they want to compete at the highest level, right? They're eager to prove something. So in Alabama with 21 committed prospects, you needed to add another running back because of Turbo Rogers, right? So I would stay close to your recruiting sites. There's plenty of them out there. He visited, like I said, against Mercer. He's a number 33 running back in the country on On3. I didn't really check where he was on 24/7 or Rivals. I usually roll with On3. I just like their interface more, but I know all those recruiting sites will be covering this. So hit the subscription button or follow your recruiting sites for information to drop on Jace Calzario. I'm going to watch his highlight tape and be eager to kind of dip into what he brings to the table. But I think when you look to the Alabama running back room, like, it's going to take some time. You're going to have to be patient when you come here. Jan Miller's coming back. Justice Haynes, I would imagine he comes back. And I think those running backs will be able to see more playing time because Milroe will be gone. Richard Young's got to eat. That would be sad. If I have no idea about anything about the roster. In terms of like who's going where, but if Richard Young was to hop into the portal for just an hour, I bet you people will be hitting him up. I think Richard Young is better than Dylan Sampson of Tennessee. No, he didn't get in my face. He was yelling at me from the stands. It was at the Mercedes Stadium. I was walking back into the media room after I just did a video on Milroe, and his dad was like in the stands yelling at me. I didn't even know who he was yelling at until he started pointing at me. I think he even called me a different name. It's crazy. I didn't say anything. Like, I'm not a very confrontational person. I like to stay rational. but I found that like the university keeps coming after me more and more as my channel grows more and more. And now that shit's falling off, like coming at me, like I'm like, damn, like you guys just got your ass kicked by Oklahoma. You have the Auburn, and you're like, I'm on the radar. Hugh Freeze should be on your radar, not some YouTube channel, dude. He was yelling at me because I let AJ from New York call in and speak his mind because I don't censor the calls. And he got mad at me because I was letting AJ from New York talk about his own opinion. Remember when AJ used to call in? This isn't a censored show. This isn't Crimson Tide Sports Network. This is just Bama football on YouTube, and upstairs from my room. I say studio, dude. It's just a room. It's a bedroom. Alabama getting ready to take on Houston in a big time matchup. This is like Sweet 16, Elite 8 type stuff tonight. Okay. 7 p.m. It's the same time as the college football playoff rankings. So, do what you have to do. Go support the Crimson Tide Sports Network. The game's on TBS. It's in Las Vegas. It's at the MGM Grand. That's dope. Yo, Nate Oates, what he's been able to do, just elevating, right, the basketball team, elevating the brand of the university. On the season, Alabama 4-1, Cougars 3-1. You know what? This coach gets hot from Houston. This is like a low-key like rivalry game. Leading scorer right now for Alabama, Grant Nelson, 14.2. Leading rebounder, of course, Clifford Amori, 7.4. This is going to be a hell of a game. Alabama has scored 100 points or more in 91 throughout the program's history, with Nate Oates' teams accounting for 25%, 23 games. That's the thing about Alabama basketball. Like, if you have a hard time getting into basketball, like during the football season, I encourage you to watch the Alabama basketball games because it's a completely different style of basketball that we've had over the last, 7 to 10 years. They are exciting to watch. They have so many different weapons that they have, and they have a hell of a schedule. Like, it's a gauntlet of a schedule. So even if, I have no idea what the line is on this game or if they win this game, I don't really care about. I look at this game in terms of an opportunity to play a future team in the tournament. Houston will be there, so will Alabama. This is a mega matchup. Mega. I'll go full screen and see if we can see this a little bit better. This is from the University of Alabama. So how you get this information is you go and just click game notes, and it's free to everybody. You can check it out. They do an amazing job putting this together. So you have LeBaron Philon, another guy who is incredible as a freshman. I mean, people talk about Ryan Williams, from a freshman standpoint and what he brings to the football team. LeBaron Philon, I would imagine that his NIL offers and everything that he brings to the table skyrockets as well, because this guy is absolutely phenomenal. 12.8 points per game, 54% from the field. This guy is it. If you've seen Alabama basketball play, you know that this guy is it. Mark Sears. The thing I love about Mark Sears in that last game, right? Look at that. 0 points. But what did he do? He pulled himself out, and nobody was mad about it. Next game mentality. Next play mentality. Do you have good days? Do you have bad days? Of course. It's okay to take yourself out. Am I like worried about his overall play? No. Damn, Lisa, that's what's up. The women is they're 7-0. That's cool. I just really focus on like the bread and butter of my own stuff, but if the women are 7-0, that's what's up. It's hard to win a game, much less 7 in a row. Props to them. Aiden Holloway, another guy that was a key transfer, and he steps up when Mark Sears can't get it done. 18 points, right? Latrell Wrightsell, that's another guy, 16 points. Good to see him healthy. Grant Nelson went crazy, 23 points, 8 rebounds. You see what I'm saying? All these guys and all the depth that they have, absolutely a lot of firepower. Chris Youngblood still trying to get healthy. Modi Abate is that guy off the bench. Clifford Amori, 6 points, 6 boards. Jaren Stevenson. Like the roster is so healthy and so deep. Again, I have no idea if they win this game tonight, but like tune in, 7 p.m. Here's a look at the AP Top 25 for basketball. You got Kansas, UConn, Gonzaga, Auburn, Iowa State, Houston, Tennessee, Kentucky, Bama. So you see that 6 versus 9 matchup tonight. Couple graphics that I had for yesterday. So anyways, I mean, look, here we are at this point in time going into the Iron Bowl. The emotions are high for everybody. But look, you got to be able to win this game. It's a do or die. The playoff show will be tonight at 7 p.m. And we'll see where the chips fall. I would imagine that right now for the suspense that Alabama's kind of on the back end or the first team out or whatever, which will set up for them to win, and then they're in. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I know it got a little bit hot, but yo, I got to stand my ground. I got to speak the truth. Like that's my job, right? And the beauty of my job, because sometimes I get disappointed. I'm like, damn, I would imagine that I could have like some salary job and know what I'm going to get paid and, I don't know, work for an organization and just, be comfy. But, my job goes up and down. I've had good months. I've had bad months. And, a lot of people text me. I've gone through a lot of shit. A lot of people are mad when I start talking negative, and I get it, but these are the facts. And if I don't state the facts, then I'm fake, and it's just I'm not feeling that. So I'd rather just say the truth, and if I piss off people, then I mean I can't even imagine. Can you imagine? You think people like text like I know people. I don't know if Paul Feinbaum is still what he was or whatever, but like that guy seems to say his own shit, and look where he's at. I mean I know Josh Pate is like the king of college football. I don't know, but I mean, those guys are at different levels, different heights. I'm just a one-man band. I am literally like on the totem pole. I am literally like at the bottom. So I appreciate you guys. You can find these on podcasts too, Apple, Spotify. Thanksgiving coming up. Can't wait. I love you guys. Keep rocking with me. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Talk next time.